Cause she like to do what me. Cause I think that she like to everyone she see. Love to you, everything that to me. She telling me that you just to be. Telling me that you want to be. But she promised me that you never be. When I'm going to grab a photo and I ain't get to do that. I gotta spend it. You want to watch a corner. Because it's a new somebody. You don't know to put a lot to pass it. You're not gonna let me get to do that. I gotta spend it. You want to watch a corner. Because it's a new somebody. You don't know to put a lot to pass it. I gotta pay. C'est just fini. On t'a bouché, c'est consommé. Pour les grosses têtes, on peut tout faire. L'on s'arrache, ça pour laisser. La pour laisser. Petit poids, on s'assine, on est qu'à qualité. J'ai connecté, nous pousser. Quand t'as fait, il a pour passer. On a mon la pour gagner, pour gagner, c'est tout. Elle a la santé. Il va tout passer qu'on a. Pour que ça nous soit dit. On est comme si on a pour passer. Yeah. Si tu vas, tu mets ma life easy. Tu parles de la tu parles. When I'm back, the back today. You be the book, no si comida. In a messy eating and then we talk to Willa. Hey, tu vois, you say for the car. Tu vas in the day and got to live with me. Baby girl, you will rock with me. Give me by my side, you will stuck with me. Girl, it's what I'm feeling tight when you're by my side. Let me tell you the truth. It's the way that voice is in high definition. Take a picture of you, 3D glasses, make you an impression. Baby girl, you will rock with me. If you by my side, you will stuck with me. Girl, it's what I feel inside when you're by my side. When you touch them, when you touch them. Ashes, random down. Say better, don't make good tire. Random. Tell you together, never soon, never number. You're my number, we're gonna become my wife. Back them down. Tell you together, never soon, never number. Never number, take out the dollar, take out the finger, take out the solar. Every girl you will rock with me. Keep you by my side, you will stuck with me. Girl, if I'm feeling fine, when you're by my side, yeah. Every more was on up, every man's on. Oh, yeah. Every more was on up, every man's on. Oh, It's got you on my life, you know. She She done a lot for me. So I do the simple thing for her. Like she give me one, everything she do give me one, you know. She's a champion, I'm not one day, oh, okay, man. Yeah, we can understand. Okay, man. I woke up in a good mood. I don't know why, but I'm feeling so good, like I was the whole mood. I'm not gonna put on a t-shirt today. Feel like the guitar today. I make her smile, I make her laugh. I make her dance, I make her wine. Feel like getting down, come to me, God. Feel like touching down, dance to me, God. I'll make you want to make you want to make you want to. I'll make you smile. I'll make you smile. After that, I'll take you to my place. Good morning, my people. I'm Sometimes you gotta chase it. It's what you think. This moment is a candle melting. This moment is a flower melting. If in a water, it will down. This moment is a planet tilting. Then kid you might till the later. This moment lasts. Yeah, pass. This thing you call a blessing is already past. Many, many, many more. Many, many, many more. Many stacks. And I'm on you on it. Money, money, money more. Good morning, my people. How are you today? Video ya for project ka yesterday ngati inagenda you. It was supposed to go there at 9 a.m. today after the broadcast. Video ya project ka nagenzo okulaba yesterday yo. I scheduled it. I don't know what happened. I scheduled that video to like premiere at 9 a.m. today. Nagenzo okulaba nga yesterday yo. I don't know what happened. But enjoy episode 1 of the Project Car, guys. It has already been uploaded. I'm thinking some of you guys are already watching the Project Car instead of being on the live broadcast. I don't know what happened. You were supposed to first come here, and then I announced that it went wrong. But how are you guys? Today is Lifestyle Wednesday, and I thought to get emotional intelligence. You know, when I was doing postgraduate, when I was my postgraduate, we even had a class where one of the things we covered was emotional quotient. You get, and they were teaching us how to be more emotionally intelligent, how emotional intelligent individuals do. Because I was doing a management master's course, and what they basically try to do is they try to make you a more aware person. Yeah, a person that is more aware of yourself and of your surroundings. For us to understand what emotional intelligence is, or emotional quotient is, or EQ, we need to understand what it actually, by defining it. So ideally, everyone will tell you it's the ability to recognize, understand, and also manage, while also influencing your own emotions and the emotions of others. Which take it. You try to understand your emotions, the emotion of others, and also try to influence them to go in the right direction. You recognize and understand, you also manage, you also influence your emotions and the emotions of others. So that's what they call emotional intelligence. And you have had people say, oh, your guy, emotional intelligence here, oh, your guy, takuranga, osegera, ebisere mba chiyita buto. Tonnakula gwe musajja gwe weetaaga okule, okitegeera. So in Abaganda, over the local people will say, oh, your muntu tannakula, because of the way he handles, manages and influences, or basically goes about their emotions. Intelligence of emotions. Nti omuntu ali emotionally intelligent, they can go through times, whether happy or sad, without losing it. Okitegeera. And there are 5 basic components of emotional intelligence. One is self-awareness, understanding yourself, knowing what affects you, what doesn't affect you, what treats you well, what doesn't treat you well, knowing how you handle certain situations, how you don't handle certain situations. And then there's also regulation, handling the emotions that come with whatever comes in a healthy way. And then 3, motivation, being driven to achieve for the sake of achievement. That means you're going to be positive no matter what happens. When I went to campus, I'm going to share that one briefly. And then, of course, empathy, understanding other people's emotions. Yeah. And then also responding appropriately. And then the last one is social skills, being able to manage relationships, to move people in the desired directions whether in leading negotiation or whatever. So if you've been to be really important, being aware of yourself, also regulating yourself, motivating yourself no matter what is happening, being empathetic, and also being able to associate with other people naturally. When I was at university, nice nabuza kubantu ba comments good morning, Muyombia Mark, Edward Pro, Louis, Nicholas Sebulime, Collins Thomas, Akiram, Paul Sema, Lukenge Jovan, Collins Thomas, Hussein Munyantwa, Lizas David Klaje VIP, Arnold Ojula, Igumba Jonathan, good morning. Upakura project ka. Again about Baragav. Either you people, me, I'm going to be the first bidder. I'll bid exactly how much money I have put in that car. And then the rest of the people can bid. But if people don't outbid me, I will keep the car. George Senkubuge, Nalunjo Jiarie, Travel Live Vlog, Lawrence Omule, Chairman Zach, Harrison Mohindo. So Munage, the work on the project car already commenced. We are going to work on everything. Yeah, for the people that have not watched the project car, go back and watch the project car video. We will discuss the rest tomorrow. Someone was asking me in the comments, Arthur, didn't you think about the safety of other road users? A car carrier would be recommended. Guys, let me tell you this. A car carrier in Uganda, the right way we do things in Uganda, a car carrier is only ordered when the car cannot move. As long as... Now, the biggest problem that car had was the engine problem. Of course, the gearbox na yongeri mo buzibu, suspension inge kubagana, you get. Basically, it doesn't. Most of you guys never know the moroke bajitula million. Nyate wali jibuze. Most of you, actually 90% of you guys would not even dare buy it, even if I told you it's being sold for $1 million. You get. But if I tell you how much we bought that car, now that will be revealed in episode 2. If I tell you how much we bought that car, you'll not even believe. But most of you, even if we told you $4 million, you would not even buy it. You get. But me, I bought it because it's a legendary car and I want to feel the power. That car has more power than a Fielder. It has more power than a Raptis. It has more power than a Sienta. You get. It has more power than the IST. Casteveya Sisirukumbitano. It matches a 1.8 liter vehicle. That's how much power that car can give you. Yeah. But of course, it consumes more fuel than a Fielder, Raptis, Sienta. All those 1.5 liter vehicles, as long as they are VVTi, that car consumes more fuel than them. But anyway, is it okay to remove thermostat from a car? If it misbehaves, you can remove, but if you can replace it with a new thermostat, please do. If you can replace, Okuja Kong overheating, the thermostat should be there. I have my thermostat in here. Chris Fitness, good morning. Anyway, guys, we are talking about emotional intelligence. Chris Fitness, you read so much about things. My question to you guys, is emotional intelligence a real thing or it's just a thing of distance? What personally I'm thinking is that literally every time we have been far away from people, they seem like they had a lot of emotional intelligence until we got close. Normally when you get close to someone for extended periods, that's when you learn that, yeah, so no, I didn't know more. Have you guys experienced that? When I was at university, there was a professor. Now, I think he was associate professor, but when he told me, he was called doctor. He's called Dr. Mangeni Patrick. Now, that dude, I've said his name because I'm saying it in good light. That dude, there are times when I interfaced with him. Namuvugana, when I had just finished campus, I drove him. I think it's in Busia. So I drove him and took him to Busia. Now, my question to Dr. Mangeni was always like, how do you do it? Dr. Mangeni would never laugh, like, like, excited. Dr. Mangeni would never be angry. Dr. Mangeni was always regulated. Like, he was always, I never saw that dude once. Yeah, there are people that other people would come out and say, oh, your guy need the muzibu, and you're asking yourself, muzibuchi. Like,
they manage situations almost too perfectly. That was Dr. Mangen. He was head of the department Mogerera, neba muganira, nebe karakasa, neba korachi. Guy would always be cool. And there's a time I asked him, but doctor, how do you stay cool all the time? The guy was cool. I was there for 3 years, but never even once did I see him lose his cool. Did I see him shout at someone? Did I see him? He was always cool. Can thermostat kill AC pumps? No, it can't. The thermostat works in the cooling of the engine, not the AC pump. So Dr. Mangeni aberanga cool. But I've seen other people in the same position after him that they lose their cool, they shout at people, they abuse people. So I was chatting with Mama Aban. You know, Mama Aban is someone that believes that someone can actually be totally emotionally intelligent. Like there are people that have perfect emotional intelligence. Nzenga Arthur, I've grown to understand or to believe that emotional intelligence might actually be something of a distance. That the farther away you are from someone, the more you think they're emotionally intelligent. You know how people keep telling us you can abuse the president and nothing will happen to you? You've seen that. You know how people have kept telling us the things that are going wrong in the country are not going wrong because of the president, but because of the people around him. You get it? Like when you're far away from people, you can blame everyone else that is around them other than that person. You know, like when they arrest people because they have said something bad about the president on TikTok, it's not really the president that is arresting them, but do we know for sure that it's not him? I don't know if you get what I'm saying. It's of recent that we are seeing, for example, in the justice system in Uganda, where we see judges acting not emotionally intelligent. For example, a judge will preside over a case and you're asking yourself, okay, how did the judge come up with this? Like, you know how they hold someone in contempt of court, like how? That's you not handling your emotions properly. And I think one of the most popular judges in the US, Mujikira Kapiro. So he had cancer some time ago. But you remember that judge that was really popular on YouTube because they would bring cases on his table and then he would find a way to resolve them in a way that is understanding with empathy. Like they would arrest someone over speeding or something, and then the person would say, you know what, my son was on the deathbed. I needed to get him out. I needed to get him to the hospital, so I was over speeding. And then Judge Kapiro would say, you know what, you go. And he was very popular because of that, because of emotional intelligence. Okay, we want to call it emotional intelligence. Also, maybe it's just because it's planned, it's a TV show or something. Chris Fitness Agamba Arthur, that's partially true. EQ being a thing of a distance. Some people can really control and manage their emotions, but they are the minority. This looks like Kampala City in the morning traffic. Yes, it is black. Emotional intelligence, is it the same with instinct and intuition? Our Chris Fitness, I know theory, the theory. I think it's personally, I think Musasi Samuel, good morning. Personally, I think those two things are different. Intuition is you projecting and saying this might work, this might not work. But emotional intelligence, let's say, for example, a border guy came and crashed into my car. Yeah? And there was a woman who is a passenger on the border, and that woman fell down. How I handle that situation will prove that either I'm emotionally intelligent or not. Now, an emotionally intelligent person will first of all, an emotionally intelligent person understands what triggers them. Biche bimunyiza, biche bimusanyusa, bwasanyuka akola ki, bwanyiga akola ki, and then after they have understood their triggers, then they regulate their emotions. Have you seen people that get too excited and happy and they give away all their money? Then they are not regulating their happy emotions. And have you seen people that get angry and they beat everyone around them? You saw Nika Nyamunyu, he shot someone simply because that person scratched his car. You saw that? That was poor emotional management. Like, a car is a car. You should not, there is no reason why you shoot someone else because they have scratched your car. You can always buy another car, but you cannot replace a life. So Kanyamunyu went to prison because of poor emotional regulation. And then, like we said, after regulation, we also said you need to be able to motivate yourself at all times to do what is right, to achieve your goals, regardless of what you're going through. And then we also talked about empathy. You need to understand what other people are going through. And then, of course, social skills, being able to interact with people and live with people in harmony. You get it? So it's probably something that we learn as we grow. I find that the older you get, the more you are able to, first, for example, regulate your emotions. Yeah, me, I've seen personally that the older I grew up, the more I've been exposed to situations, the more I can handle those situations with emotional maturity. So you might actually think I'm emotionally intelligent. You get, for example, border men have fallen into my lights multiple. I've not even talked about it. I just handle that. But in the past, I would come out in a tuyomba netumale sawa namba nga tuyomba bedakiika abiri nga tuyombera ekintu kyemmanyi nti eventually I'll have to go and buy my own light, or eventually I'll have to go and repair my own car or boda talina sente. But I think the more I've been through those situations, the more I can handle the situations with more awareness. Once you are aware that, you know what, for someone to touch your car triggers you, then the next step will be for you to regulate it better. After I was poor at managing emotions, one day I blow 20 million in a bar due to stress. Now I learned how to manage my emotions and hunger. One million abiri mu kibala. Yeah. But you guys, you see now, I find that yes, it's also partly experience. I think it's partly distance, it's partly experience, but it's partly like knowing what it means. Because Bobato never kuyiga what emotional intelligence is, or it's inborn. It's actually not inborn. I have realized that the more educated people get, the more emotionally intelligent they get. But I've also realized that there are positions where people forget that they are supposed to display emotional intelligence. I'll give you an example. There was an episode on TV where we had Semujunganda. I think it was on NBS in the morning. We had Semujunganda, and then we had Dr. Tanga Odoi. Dr. Tanga Odoi used to be very popular at Makerere University, literature department, I think. Dr. Tanga Odoi, of course, is a very outspoken person. But when he was still at MOOC, it was quite different. But in this particular interview that he had with Arine Semujunganda, you could clearly see that Dr. Tanga Odoi is losing it. Dr. Tanga Odoi would openly insult Honorable Semuju, even when Honorable Semuju was not insulting him. Or Dr. Tanga Odoi would clearly throw his weight around. I'm a doctor. I'm educated. You're not educated. You get it? You could clearly see that at that particular moment, he wasn't handling his emotions properly. And he kept saying, I don't answer to civilians. I answer to generals. You get what I'm saying? You could clearly see. I'm sure you guys have seen that clip. But I think emotional intelligence has a big correlation with the level of one's general intelligence. Chris Fitness, like in the example of Dr. Tanga Odoi that I'm giving you, like at Makerere University, especially if your name is Odoi, you don't just become a doctor. You don't just head a department, because Dr. Tango Doi, before he joined the NRM, became EC chair. He was a big person at Makerere. You don't just in Makerere, you don't just become big. For you to become big at Makerere University, for us that have been there, you need to actually have a high level of intelligence, and not just general intelligence, but also emotional intelligence. Makerere University is full of triggers. Full of triggers. I know someone at MOOC that did a master's degree for 7 years. He eventually did it, but then he was also forced to do a PhD for like 4 years. Like a PhD for 4 years in Uganda, eh? You get it? But I find that, like the example of Dr. Tanga Odoi, he lost it. I find that there are positions where you go, you're going to lose yourself. Like, for example, I find that in governments, like, for example, our government here in Uganda, it hasn't done a lot of good things. It hasn't done a lot of right things. They have done a lot of bad things. They are doing so many things wrong. So for you to be in a position where you speak for the government, you will lose yourself eventually, because people will bombard you with data. You will not have data. Right? You will not have data, but you'll just have to say stuff to defend your government, to defend your bosses, or to defend your employer. So I find that that's why I think you don't see a lot of public relations officers in government agencies like having activities over what? You have not really achieved a lot, so you literally have nothing to tell the general public. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. So there are positions where your emotional intelligence can be put to test. For you to be afloat. You get, for you to handle your emotions properly. And but Chris Fitness general intelligence, I think one's general intelligence increases as they get exposed to situations, as they get exposed to people, as they read. The more they read, the more they get learned. You get a lot of that also influences one's emotional intelligence. Yeah. Sarah. So then the question is going to be, how important is emotional intelligence to us? I find that emotional intelligence helps us be likable. If you don't have very good emotional intelligence, people will not like you. If you're the kind of person that lashes out when you're sad or angry or pissed off, and then you're the kind of person that throws your happiness in people's faces whenever you're happy, people generally will not like you. Right? But I find that some of the people that I consider to be emotionally intelligent are people that I've not really been close to. That's why my theory is something that I want to you guys to answer to. Is emotional intelligence a thing of distance, or it's a reality? Because Rabbi, have you seen people? I'll give you an example. When Nali Nkure Mutumbe, there was a counselor, guy yari counselor kuchalo, and it seemed like he was all grounded. It seemed like he had his life in order. That was when I was young. I wasn't like, when you're young, you don't get close to people, you don't move into people's compounds unannounced. But as I grew up, I started going through his compound. As I grew up, I started seeing that he was actually drunk, he was violent with his wife. I started realizing that he doubted some of his kids publicly, blah 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 and stuff like that. And eventually they divorced with the wife. And then that's also when I realized that, like before then, and then we realized, she's actually a drunkard. Like every time she would get sad, or she would get the husband does something, she would go get drunk, they'll come home and fight, you get it. A lot of people definitely get drunk when they are sad, but some people don't handle the drinking effectively. And then as we grew up, then we realized, so this is how they are. So they are not as good as we thought they were. You get it? And have you guys, there's something that I also realized, I think we have talked about it before. that when you're still vibing a chick before the chick comes close to you, the chick doesn't have any problems. Like their life is perfect. They have everything covered. They are grounded. When they become your girlfriend, that's when you actually start realizing, okay. That's when you start realizing that this chick actually has a lot of problems. That's when you start realizing that uh, maybe you start even reconsidering dating this chick. That's when you realize that she can cry out of the blue. That's when you realize that she can shout. That's when you realize that ochitegere bomunyiza akuvuma, bomunyiza akutambula atambula nakuvida, bomunyiza tayagala kubeera kumpi takwata masimu go. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. And those all those can be signs of poor emotional intelligence or lack of it. Ochitegere. And you know that's the thing that they have always said, the grass is always greener on the other side. You've heard that. The grass is always greener on the other side. So when you come to that other side, then you start understanding that, okay, omuntu gwali omanyi nti are grounded, they have everything covered. They don't actually have everything covered. Bibasobako olumu okitegeera. The example, if you have watched autobiographies, if you have watched movies that document the lives of some of the most successful individuals in life, you'll definitely realize that in their lives, obalabanga, they actually lost their cool and people did not really want to be close to them. One of the reasons they were close to them was because they paid them. Okitegeera, ebyo ebintu ebimutu bw'oba tosomye ku bitabo byafaayo, for you to understand, for you to try and understand how great people lived, you not understand. Okitegeera, for you to see that Alexander and Napoleon could have actually been murdered, nobody wanted to be close to, like, you have to get close to people for you to understand who they actually are, and for you to see if you would want to be close to these people, and for you to understand how the people that are close to them are managing. It's so that's why my question was, but it seems most of you guys have not actually like explored the thingy of emotional intelligence. Then I was talking to Mama Aban as well, and I was asking, like, because Mama Aban is naturally, she's I want to say she's a better human being than me. It's not even about emotional intelligence. She naturally handles situations better than me. Like when we have a fight, she handles it a little bit better than me. When good things are happening to us, she handles those situations also better than me. When our kids like do something wrong, I handle it better than her. I think because I'm far away from, I'm a little bit far away from them. Yeah, she's closer to these kids, so she has to be the one to discipline them. Yeah. So and sometimes disciplining has to be instant with the kids. Abana abamu to discipline them or to tell them that they have done something wrong. Sometimes they will think it was okay what they did. So I think because I'm far away from the kids, it almost seems like personally I have everything like covered. But generally she handles things properly. But I don't think it's a thing of her being more emotionally intelligent than me. I think it's a thing that comes with nature. There are people that are naturally good, but because we cannot call it intelligence because it's inborn. Yeah, if something is inborn, then there is no way we're going to say that it's emotional intelligence. I don't know if intelligence can be something that grows or it grows on you, but there are people that are naturally there. Nga oyinza n'omulinnya n'omuyitako n'ogenda. Okitegeera. It's not because they are handling the emotions very well, but they are handling it in a different way. Okitegeera nti omulinnyako n'ogenda nga munda afa awulira afa. Those are the people abeetuga, by the way. Those are the people that kill themselves. Why? Because some of them probably don't know how to process emotions, yeah? Or some of them just choose to ignore their emotions. And when they ignore their emotions, they build up. Have you seen people that seem to be very happy? Then the bagamba guy yetuze. Why? Like you guys remember this gentleman, the late Babirukam John. He was a very successful marketer, and he killed himself. And everyone was like, okay, why? Why did he? So sometimes what we see as emotional intelligence might actually not be emotional intelligence. It might actually be a cry for help. Two things have so far enabled me work on my EQ, working in multicultural settings, especially upcountry, to becoming a family man. Families also requires political management. Yeah. Like your kid needs to see you a certain way. Like my kid, Aban, is making 7 in June. And Bangambi, he said, I don't want to disrespect daddy. I don't want to disappoint daddy. Which say, right? Your kids need to be able to look up to you and say, okay, I think daddy has this level of probably living, and I don't want to fall below that. But when I would think that your kids don't want to see, like there is a time when Mama Aban was picking a fight with me. That Aban natural and Mommy, why are you looking at daddy like that? Mommy, daddy, why is mommy looking at you like that? And then Mugamba, I think mommy is not happy with something I did. And I was mommy, what did daddy do wrong? And just like that, the fight went away. Arthur, it's very interesting. I remember Bambi, my ex told me, I'm too perfect to be with her. About why my EQ always compromise. Too perfect. Let me see. The moment you say I love your hand, you realize you're the commercial bank. Bulichimu omukazi yategeera sente ya rabbi. Good morning, starch. That's when you realize make it amanyo. David Sematia, Salmin, good morning. Kim Era, good morning. Tanga Odoi was an intelligent, cool, but he joined politics. I first saw Tanga Odoi at Gombe SS. I used to teach their history and also at MOOC. Any modern Jews, good morning. But I think emotional intelligence has a big correlation with the level of one's general intelligence. Ronald M. Cassandra VIP, good morning. Sevugwao Medi, good morning. So anyway, emotional intelligence. I used to handle my emotions quite poorly in Zenga Arthur in the past. But I find that empathy was one of the things that affected me, my emotional intelligence journey. And remember, there are five elements for you to be fully emotionally intelligent, and empathy is one of them. Empathy is you being able to understand other people and what they are going through and dealing with those situations, whatever situation that is existing, with that in mind. In the past, I used to expect people to move or at the same pace with me. I used to expect people to achieve at the same pace that I am achieving. I used to expect people to understand the way I understand. And whenever you have those things in your mind, you're not being empathetic. You need to understand that some people grew up in did not go to very good schools, so you need to understand that some people did not eat very good food or balanced diet, so they you need to understand that some people, like for example, I shared an American guy I taught digital marketing. Guy yali mu America wano, era naye bali America bava mu America nga banaku najje eno olw'okuba mu America n'atandika okujooga ensi. So he used to come, classes would have started at 9, and then one of those days, actually it was about 3 days, it rained. And when it rains in Uganda, people come late not because they want, but because the means of transport, or a person will take a taxi, it will leave them at Shell, and they have no way to move from there because they don't have a personal car. So this guy being American, it's not, for us, our culture is different, but he failed to understand that. So he would come, day one he came, and people came late, and we waited. Day two, we waited. We would wait for like 30, 40 minutes. And he would get really angry. That day, he complained a lot. And then I told him, you know what? Because I don't think he actually went through with it. He wanted to start a factory here. But I don't think he was like 40, but you looked really young. He looked younger than me. And he wanted to start a factory here. So one thing I told him, if you're going to start a factory here and work with Ugandan employees, or Ugandan people, there are things that you need to understand about, first, about our culture, but second, you also need to understand these things um, about about our environment. You get in our culture, we have even been reconditioned. We have been told that when it rains on you, guys, double tap the screen. Thank you, Stephen Omoria. We have even been reconditioned to believe that when it rains on you, you fall sick. I don't believe in that. But we have been reconditioned. So many people fear to walk in the rain because they believe when it rains on them, they are going to fall sick. And it is in our culture. So some people, when it rains, they continue sleeping. So I tried to make him understand, and he got really angry. And I told him, you may not be able to manage Ugandan employees if you cannot. For now, the culture is still like that. Culture ye yobo yagala obato yagala. Ugandans enkuba bwetonya bamanyi okulwawo. Me, in the past, you remember I started traveling to Europe and all those countries when I was 16, and I was working closely with these European guys. And I kind of adopted this mindset of time is time, time is time, time is time. I adopted, we need to do this and finish it at this time. And of course, that I already have that thing of perfectionism, sorry. And Bobby combining you. Then by Ugandan standards, so I had that when I had started working. So I would quarrel a lot with people. But eventually, after that day, actually, we are okunyiga. Then nagamba, I want to speak to your supervisor. And I told him I'm my supervisor. And but then eventually we talked to the girlfriend, the girlfriend said she also has the same problem with him. He thinks things should move the way he wants them to move, but there is a thing of culture that he hasn't understood. And he told me to talk to him also about going back to the US, because when Uganda, things should work out. But eventually he went back to the US. And I hope he's doing well. But I also had the same issue. I used to think that people should do things at the right time and stuff like that. But when you start thinking like that, orumo mutwe, oyomba nnyo, oboggola nnyo, olekana nnyo, you get. But when I started understanding how people operate, when I started understanding our culture, when I started understanding our people, then I started knowing how to handle people. Then at that time, we twalinga tukola emizannyo gyaffe egya theatre. I'd pay people based on who they are. Like how many years have you performed on the stage? How good are you with getting the lines? How many roles can you do? And stuff like that. Then I realized that Ugandans, I started paying per hour. Femu theater, for example, if you're going to do a play, we work as an ensemble. And because we work as an ensemble, rehearsal. If one person is not there for rehearsal, the other people, the other people will mess up the play. So what I did is I started paying per hour. Why am I paying per hour? Is if you come to rehearsals, you'll make more money than a person that doesn't come for rehearsal, however good he is. As long as they don't come for rehearsals, yeah, they will not get as much money as you. So what I did then, I started seeing which people are actually working harder than others. These are the people that come for rehearsals. Then I gave them more roles. Because we are entering the Guinness Book of Records, and I submitted the application though. And I want my team to break the record, which has not yet been broken. The most number of plays to be done in a space of 10 hours by the same cast. We are planning to do between 7 to 10 plays in 10 hours, depending on what we can be able to do. That includes Shakespeare plays. But then I realized when I started doing the hourly payment, people started actually attending rehearsals, and our plays became better. Our productions became better, lines were better, performances were better, and I did not have to shout at anyone. All I had to do was do it 1 to 2, 3 seasons, with people then realizing, Okitegera ngate kakola role ntono. It means that kid came for rehearsals even when you were not there. Kati emirundi gyonna gyonna oyo omuntu gye yajja, emirundi gyonna gyonna omuntu gye yajja mu rehearsals yafunanga sente nyingi okusinga guwadde oli w'amaanyi. So and by doing that I emulate these things of ego. Nze ndi star, nzanye emizannyo mingi. I don't have those things when I'm doing a production. I work with who is there. Someone will wake up in the morning and say, Arthur, I'm not available this season. And I'll say, good. You're not available? You tell me when you're available again. And I'll replace them. Newembera Arthur, it's very easy to replace me. You get, because people get paid on how much effort they put in. And the effort for us in the theater is you cannot get better if you don't put in the hours. So the more hours you put in rehearsals, the better your performance is going to be. So someone gets paid by the number of hours they put in, and if they put in the right number of hours, they perform. And we have seen it improve. Kasicha yomba n'abantu. And production somehow work themselves out. But of course, sometimes it's you understanding how things work, getting a set of data. Data, now I can use this data. Even the stress reduces. Arthur, where and when do your place showcase? How much is a ticket? I've not done general public shows in a long time, but if our application to the Guinness Book of Records is accepted, you guys will be able to come and watch. Like I have a cast of like 20 people, and these 20 people perform like generally for to Singapore and your schools, but we can do about 4 to 6 plays a day. That's like we start at 10 and by 5 we have done with 6 plays. That's how efficient we are. And that's like, I've not seen that done anywhere in the world. And yeah, so that's why I submitted an application for my team to be in the Guinness Book of Records. Yeah. It was a cook-off. So we are going, if it's accepted, we are going to do the same thing here in Uganda. Some of our cultures should be dropped to adapt to the global village. I was in Kabale town and all restaurants never opened before 9 a.m. I know, I had that. But culture is important, Chris Fitness. Culture is what makes people who they are. And I find that the moment we start adapting to other people's cultures too fast, populations die faster. We get stressed. Like me, I adapted to the European culture, and I think that kind of contributed to the amount of stress that I had when I was younger. Because I always thought people were not serious. People are serious. And Chris Fitness, some things that happen with culture, something that happen with our culture are because of the situations that are there. I'll give you an example. Neboboli mukozo otya. Neboboli mukozo otya. Public holidays, banks will close. Obo yagala, obato yagala, banks will close on public holidays. On Eid, bonds ebibanda bisinga bigenda kuba biggale. Gwe ne bwoba oyagala otya, ebibanda bigenda kuba biggale. Ku Sunday, buying a car on Sunday is bad. Not everyone abayine moroke nungi bali muzivuga bazitambuliramu. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. So sometimes it's I think our cultures are important. Like I went to the UK, the first time I went to the UK, I went to London, and early in the morning, because I'm used to the Ugandan business of 8 a.m. shops are open. I think it was summer. So I go out and I want to go shopping, and all stores are closed up to like 10 a.m. I till now I don't understand the thing with people opening their shops at 10 a.m. But it's something that happened in the UK at that time. I don't know if it's still there for the people that are in the UK, but I was surprised. You get that is what it is. That's a culture that those people have. If it's going to go away, it will go away gradually, probably with generations. But even the generation of the urbans will have to change certain things. Probably and then Uganda will be like Europe, where leaders are actually accountable to people. Because right now leaders are not accountable. Actually, if you try to hold the leader accountable, the general population will attack you. Guys, okay. So Nicholas, I'll be telling you guys if I do a general public show, I'm planning to do a feature film about Kabaka Mwanga. You know how these things, we have had the story of the Uganda matters and how they paint Kabaka Mwanga as a bad king and all those things. I stumbled upon certain information that Kabaka Mwanga was actually young. He did not make all those decisions. So I'm going to make a feature film very soon, but I'll start by doing a play about Kabaka Mwanga to the side of the story that I actually believe in. Right? If, for example, today, abaana ba Nuupu babakwata nga bakulaga nti babi nnyo baagala kutabangula ggwanga, what makes you think it wasn't done then? Okitegeera? And bwe baba nga abaana ba Nuupu be bakwata kati bali innocent. Okitegeera? What still makes you think that those guys were not innocent? There are people in government that actually believe that abaana ba Nuupu be bakwata babasibe bafiire mu makomera. Okitegeera? Because they are bad and they have information and data to show that abaana ba Nuupu babadde bagenda kukwata emmundu bajjeko government. There are people that believe that. Kati ne gwe kyeki kulowooza nti Kabaka Mwanga teyalina information emulaga nti bano abajulizi they were actually bad people. So that's one project I'm working on. I actually believe Kabaka Mwanga could have been innocent. He might not be the bad person that the world wants to make us believe. I can tell cultures even in workspace counts. The culture of private entities is different from the public entities. In private sector, multinational companies be different culture from Indian. Thank you very much. On a day, council can take a time out for guys. Mugenda mulabe project episode 1 for Agita Deyo. Good morning, Waswa Roderick Fosca, Derek Lule. Good morning. Guys, kamba si ulengenezi okay. Chinyambire yote wabadde ka jam, so I'm running at 8:30. I should be done by like 9:10. Muyombia Mark Edward Pro Louis Nicolas Sebulime Collins Thomas Akiram Paul Sema Lukenge Jovan Hussein Monyant Walizas David Klaje VIP Arnold Ojula Igumba Jonathan George Senkubuge Nalonjoje Harriet Lawrence Omule Chairman Zach Harrison Mohindo Paul Sema Chris Fitness Rubulwa Samuel S. Zach, Black, Musasi Samuel Maxwell Kahuma, Black, Henry Modern Juice, Lucky Mose, Kim Era, Shagaf Salmina, David Sembatia, Hajara, Ronald M. Cassandra VIP, DJ Hash Fashions UG, Starch Events, Hajara, Sebugwao Medi, Stephen Omuria, Julia Sengo, Bangola, Muchara. Arthur, things are not easy, man. I'm in diaspora and I got a baby, but once she moved into my room, all things changed. Doesn't want to have sex with me anymore. Imagine once a month in 4 Burumi. Some things when I tell you, you'll say I'm making your expectations high. As a man, you should be in charge. If you can't be in charge, you find a place where you're in charge. Basic Chris, Derek Lule, Wasa Roderick Fosca, Dashi Bouquet from Canada, Nick Gar. Happy birthday, Nick Gar. Project Ka Kumuzuri. I just wait to enjoy the journey of that transformation. Amina, Amina. Kari guys, thank you very much for being part of the broadcast. Share the Project Ka video. Nete mwirabira. Project Ka tigenda kwekora. Inspections amazze zigenda okuleta sente. Ezigenda okugula ebintu ebigenda okukola emmoroka eyo. Nze nagikuze nagitaddewo era ngenda gikola naye bwe muleta inspection bwe mugula tracker bwe mugula alarm. Someone inboxed me a couple of days ago bamubyeko emmotoka ng'agamba Arthur Nyambola ng'emmotoka. Now you guys, when your car is stolen, if you want Arthur to help you advertise it or talk about it, also share the agenda kuono n'emmoroka ono oyo akulubudde era ate agenda kudda maaso ayongera ayonoone. Mwebagayi bw'obeera ne girlfriend wo muyigirize okuvuga emmotoka, muyigirize parking. Mukazi ali wano alwana n'emmotoka bampa agenda gimalawo. Kati ayise omusajja amuyambeko mu parkingirako. Anyway, guys, guys, I wish you a very lovely day. I'll see you tomorrow. Random Cat Talk Thursday. May the good Lord bless you. And guys, read more about emotional intelligence and see what is stopping you from handling your emotions better or having higher emotional intelligence than the ordinary person. Everyone has their own challenges that stops them. And emotional intelligence is not something that is inborn. From my perspective, I find that buli muntu azaba an emotional intelligence, we all have it, but we just get affected along the way with the stimuli that we go through, with the events that happen to us, and we can always get there. But also, I find that emotional intelligence is also a thing of distance. The farther away you are from people, the more they think you are actually emotionally intelligent. The more it's just because they don't know them. That's why when you find men of 50 with their colleagues of 50 years, babanga abana abato. When you find men of 70 with their colleagues of 70, may the good God bless you. I'll see you tomorrow. Ciao.